video, other than by saying that yesterday we found out that my grandmother died. My uncle was calling her and she wasn't answering, and he got worried. So he went over to her home and he found her. And it's been kind of a whirlwind of emotions. I was gonna do some filming yesterday and I just couldn't bring myself to because I was a mess, and I'm still kind of a mess right now, but I don't know, it's one of those the show must go on kind of moments. And I thought that doing something that is personal to me that involves her would be important. So I got the ingredients yesterday while we were at the store to make something that my mom gave me the recipe for a while ago. It's called sour cream chocolate chip cake. My mom loves it, and it was Grandma's recipe, and it's one of Mom's favorites. I think when I made it last time, I thought it was a little dry and could definitely use frosting, but I'm gonna see, like, maybe if I cook it a little bit less this time, that, you know, maybe I'll see exactly why she's so in love with it, and it will just be something that is meant to bring me closer to my grandma in this time while we're figuring out everything, because it's kind of up in the air whether I'll even get to go out for all of this stuff, because Grandma lives in California and I'm in Ohio, and as a disabled woman I don't exactly have an income coming in, so it's not like I have a way to go out there on my own or anything. But it's a lot. I'm gonna pull a Mia really fast and throw in an editing clip, but you'll have to forgive how out of it I am. It was just the day after, and I was still pretty out of it and upset and trying to kind of find a normal for myself. I'm doing better, but still not 100%. Still, it's better than that though, so just bear with me, okay? But I wanted to make this in her memory, and since we have game night tomorrow, I guess it just kind of worked out, because I was gonna do some baking anyway. This just kind of coincides with all of it. Even though I don't usually like sour cream, when it gets into baked goods, it's actually pretty good. So we have, this is a whole stick of butter, but we're only gonna use, what is it, 6 tablespoons of this. So we're actually gonna cut off like 2 tablespoons right here. Each of these is 4 tablespoons, so but I think I'll start with the dry ingredients first, just because that's usually how I like to do stuff. So let's see, that's the flour. So 1 cup sugar. I like to do the sugar first just so I don't contaminate things for my gluten-free baking. 1 full cup, and then 1 1/3 cup flour.
Aren't we creaming the sugar into the butter?
Yeah, I'm going to do that second.
Okay.
Oh, you're right. Don't mind me, I'm a dumbass. Actually, no, I'll keep this. I will keep this out since I've already done it, but I'll just grab a different bowl. I normally don't make those kind of mistakes. Yeah, I was really out of it. She's right. See, you can tell in grief, I don't think. I mean, that could be a fibro thing too, honestly. But I think that I'm just not thinking well because I'm just so... There's just a lot going on right now in my head. I've been thinking about her a lot, and I've been thinking about times that we've shared together a lot, and I don't know, my head's all jumbled. So let's try that again. So that's 1 1/3 cups flour. And I won't include the exact recipe below, but I will look up a similar one to share with you guys just because it's a family recipe, and I don't know, I'm feeling a little raw about it at the moment. Maybe like, I don't know, I'll have to think about it, but I can probably find a pretty like close recipe, if not like almost the same online, to share with you guys, and it should be just as good. 1 1/2 teaspoons baking powder. So here's the half. And then 1 teaspoon baking soda, of course. Thank you. So we'll just do 2 of these. And then cinnamon. Cinnamon. It only calls for about 1 teaspoon, but I always like a little extra cinnamon, to be quite honest. So I'm actually going to do a little bit more because I like cinnamon a lot. And I think it's definitely possible to overpower something with cinnamon, but I think that you'd have to like go really crazy nuts with it. I could totally see like mom and grandma like having tea together with this too at my grandma's house, her old house, not the condo that she lives in now. Grandma's house, because grandma and grandpa got, like, they moved around a lot, but grandma and grandpa settled in an area of Tustin, which is in Orange County, and this house, it's not this way now. It was so weird seeing it after when she got the house ready to be sold, because they took all the wallpaper down and they painted everything white. But I used to think that grandma's house had like so much character because every single like room, like the wallpaper just got worse and worse and worse in every single room that you went into. And she had this like almost gold colored couch that went along with it that my aunt has now, that she has a cover over it because it's just that ugly. And like Mom's blue room was the prettiest out of all of the wallpapers. I think it's because Mom picked it out. But like the bathroom in between had frogs all over it. All these green frogs. And there were all of these green frog decorations in it. And it was hilarious and gaudy and like it was just very much what I picture whenever I picture being at Grandma's house and being in her kitchen or being in her living room, and the fireplace that kind of was in both rooms. Like when you go through her living room, you could see it through the fireplace into her office area, and we would play in the office area a lot, so long as we didn't get into her stuff. And then this is all mixed together, and now we're going to do the butter and the sugar. So we've got the 1 cup sugar, and now we've got 6 tablespoons butter, and it's been softened, which is what we want.
Recording.
All right. Alright, going. This is just 1 cup now. Pretty good. I think I'm just gonna scrape down the sides before we put the eggs in, so that they get nice and mixed in well. We'll just mix in each egg at a time. Scrape that down again. And then it is time to add the flour mixture in. I always tend to do this a little bit at a time just because that's smarter. You get a lot less mess that way. It just helps it mix more evenly. It's already getting kind of a light brown color thanks to the cinnamon. Last bit of the flour mixture. Alright, and then the final ingredient, well, not the final ingredient, but the next part is the sour cream. And I just got the Daisy brand sour cream, which, I mean, you could do just about any type, so long as it's a decent brand sour cream. This is just around like 1 cup. Make sure we get all of it out and not make a huge mess in the process.
Greased and floured.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. So now that that's all mixed together, it calls for 6 ounces of chocolate chips, but I only have a 24-ounce bag. So, because, you know, we make a lot of stuff with chocolate chips. So I'm gonna, I should turn that on, shouldn't I? Zero it out. I have a little scale, because Alton Brown says you should have one. Come to think of it, this little thing might not be big enough for as much of the chocolate chips as we need, but I guess we'll find out. Oh, Lord. I don't know what the hell I was just trying to say. I think it was a mix between Lord and something. I don't know, don't ask me. Okay, so that's about 6 ounces. So, look at this cute little pie tin, by the way. I got it, and I'm like, I just love it. So, and I'll just turn this off.
You gotta wait it out. It turns itself off.
No, it doesn't. There. Guess it just had to be sitting on the thing. I'll put that away. And so now we want to scrape down all the sides and everything. So we've got this greased and floured and ready for it. And so, and we've got the oven set to 350 degrees. 350. So I'm just gonna pour this in here now. Getting stuff all over me. I'm just going to spread this out in the pan so that it covers the whole bottom. What they want us to do, well, what Grandma wants us to do, is to take the 6 ounces of chocolate chips and to just kind of scatter them evenly on top of cake. So we're just gonna try to make it as even as possible. Which I guess is to try to like get most of that chocolate up at the top rather than mixing it all into the batter and have it possibly fall to the bottom, but there are ways to combat it falling to the bottom. Okay. And then we want to take a full tablespoon of sugar. So we'll take a tablespoon of sugar. Oops. I'm just getting sugar everywhere. And just sprinkle it over the top of the cake. It wasn't as even as I hoped. So I'm getting certain areas that have a lot more sugar than others. But I guess that's okay. So long as you try to get it as even as you can. That should be good. I might add just a little more to make it a little bit more even. So I think the whole point is to kind of caramelize the sugar on top to make it kind of sweet topping for it. Normally I top this afterwards with powdered sugar just because I think it's nice and it's sweet. But Mom always eats it without doing anything like that. And then we're just gonna bake it for about 30 minutes or until cake begins to pull away from sides of pan. And then you can serve it warm or cold, but don't refrigerate. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the oven and we'll see it once it comes out. So one of the stories I wanted to share was actually, it wasn't the last time I saw my grandma, because I saw her back in 2016 for my brother's wedding. But it was when I saw her in 2015 when I went out for my cousin's graduation. And we went over, and it wasn't her first time getting to meet my husband, because she'd come out for our wedding. But him and I went over to her condo, and she knew that we were trying for a baby and that we'd not been having a lot of success. We struggle with infertility issues, and it's mostly my issues, thanks to endometriosis and family history. But we were over there and we were sitting on the chairs talking to her, and she was like, "Oh, Amelia, I have something for you." And she told me to go back where all of her necklaces and stuff were, and she's like, "Find the cow one." And I love cows. I'm obsessed with them. So I was chuckling, and I went over and I found this really gaudy necklace. It was hilarious. It had all of these like orange and aqua beads and all of these copper like huge cows and small cows and little geese and little moons with stars and everything. And I brought it over, and she was like, "Put it on." I was like, "Okay." So I put it on and like got my hair over it and everything, and she's like, "I want you to take that home with you. I want you to keep it. I'm giving it to you." And I was like, "All right." And she's like, "It will be your fertility necklace." And Ash and I both laughed because we were like, "Thanks?" Like, and Ash even asked her at the time, he was like, "How is that supposed to work? Is she supposed to wear it while we..." And Grandma was like, "I don't need to know. Like, that's between you two. Like, just, it will bring you luck, and it will bring you a baby." And not like 2 months later, because it was May that we went out, so we got pregnant in July. So not 2 months later, I was finally pregnant. Not that I knew it until September, but so maybe that cow juju worked, and she had a part in Seth coming about. But I just thought it was so funny. And unfortunately, my cat, Bug, who is the only male cat, and he peed on the necklace, and it kind of rusted. And so most of the necklace had to be thrown away, but I did cut off parts of that necklace. 2 of the big cows, about 3 or 4 of the small cows, 2 of the geese, and 1 horse and 3 of the moons. And I'm gonna try to like make something new with it, because that was what I could salvage. So I'm gonna try to get the rust off and make something new. So that will probably be its own video. Yeah, maybe we could make a wind chime with it or something. I'm definitely gonna take one of the small cows and make a little pendant with it, I think, so that I could like wear it and keep a part of it with me. But you know, the rest of it I'm gonna do something with it that is just, I don't know, something special. But I have to decide what I want to do with it first before we do it. And that'll probably be its own video, but I'm just, I don't know. It's a really important memory of mine. That and the time that she told me at, I think I was 5, she told me I could have some bonbons, but not to eat all of them. And I didn't. I left 2. And she was very upset with me. So I said, fine, I won't eat any of them. And I stormed off, and I basically have never forgiven her for it. I think it was a few years back, Mom was like, are you ever gonna forgive your grandma for that? And I was like, maybe, if she gets me bonbons. So here it is, all out of the oven. It smells delicious. It smells like a cinnamon roll right now.
Cinnabon eats your heart out.
Like, I'm really excited to dive into it. We might not actually dive into it until tomorrow, but I might just heat it back up just a little bit to get it a little, just warm it up, just to get it kind of gooey and just dive right in. Okay, so here's the taste test of my grandma's sour cream chocolate chip cake. It's a lot more moist this time, so I think I overcooked it the very first time I made it. So like this, I probably wouldn't even put the powdered sugar over it, but I could if I wanted just a little more sweetness. But it's got this nice little crystallized sugar on the very top, and you can feel it when you're chewing, and it adds just a hint more sweetness. It's really good. Tastes a lot of like cinnamon and bread, and like a cinnamon bread with chocolate chips essentially is kind of what it tastes like. It's really kind of heartwarming because it makes me think of her, and it makes me think of the bond that her and Mom had. So thank you for joining me, and if you like this video, please like it below, and if you liked this video or any of the others on the channel, please subscribe. Thank you.